Okay, so today we are recording another video then. This time, since Deca announced that they're going to be making nerfs and buffs to various classes, we're going to be coming out with our own ideas about how to make changes to the various classes, as they're quite unbalanced. And today we got Halt again on a video, and we have
Hello.
Galley back this time.
Hello, I'm back, friends.
Yes, we love having both of you on.
Thank you.
So, just kind of jumping right into it today. I think we're going to start out with the rogues, as I'm a rogue main, so we're going to start out with that. Oh my god, the roommate is back in the background.
You don't need one? Yes, no?
So, how do you think that you would want to approach the rogue class if you were looking to buff it or nerf it?
I have no. Well, I don't know.
For,
I
for
mean, it has decent. It has really good utilities and it has quite good damage. Though I think some of their skills are like ridiculous in the damage department, so they could have a slight nerfing. But I don't know. I'm not very familiar with the rogue. I'm more familiar with the other classes, so I might pass over to you guys.
Overall, do you think that it could use a not buff or a nerf?
Probably a little bit of a nerf, although yeah, probably more of a nerf than a buff.
Okay, Galley.
Hmm. It's been a while since I've been on my road. Uh, Maybe a slight nerf because I think for getting kills, the damage wise, rogues actually do pretty good amount of damage. Uh, I'd say leave it as is. Maybe change out the layout of the skill points that are available. Maybe add in another skill. I don't know if rogues need to require like a more support skills.
Mhm.
Because what do rogues have now? Like was it
They got exposed, poison.
yeah.
They got bunch of
Yeah,
support skills.
rogues have a fair amount of skills, I think, but the problem is a lot of them are just useless.
Like
Mm.
bladed?
Yeah. So, for overall, my idea for balance changes for the rogues is I would like to see the rogues stay with generally the same amount of power, but provide more skills that are going to be viable, especially towards DPS rogues. Because as it is, it's like every DPS rogue just is like, okay, last skill, I'm gonna do poison weapons as a point dump and then assassinate if I have the skills to do so, just maxed if I can, or not at all. And with poison weapons and Ren just being point ups. And it's like we never touch any of the other skills unless we're going for like some weird build. So for my ideas, I wanted to change assassinate, just rework it to do 10% less damage, but you can activate it at 50% instead of 30%.
That's pretty intense.
Because at 30%, you're only activating it like once or twice in most raids due to its fucking like minute cooldown. It's awful. And this is a skill that DPS rogues are just maxing because there's no better options. Uh, so I want to reduce its damage and by a little bit, but and make them get to cast it more often. I just wanted to outright
Mm.
nerf expose weakness. That skill is busted for support rogues, and so just nerf it. Poison weapons. I'm looking to have it applied to everyone in the group, but will reduce its value by 10%. So everyone in the group would get poison damage. That would be really good on Mord and Hrung, but like really on Dino, Bloodthorn, Necro, that's nothing. Like poison weapons is an irrelevant skill that again DPS rogues are taking because they have no better options.
Well, it's
Reworking,
kind of like sharpen.
yeah. It would be kind of like sharpen, but it's poison damage.
Yeah,
Um,
no, I can see that. That kind of looks cool.
Next, I wanna rework Play Dead completely, where instead, next time if an attack would kill you, you would survive on 1 HP. So, um, rework Lifesteal so it would deal magic damage instead of poison damage, and then reduce its energy costs. This would make it more viable as for damage type against other bosses, and reducing its energy would actually make some DPS rogues want to run it, as it's one of the few like utility and survivability skills that a rogue do currently have, and we just don't ever
What
run it.
does question?
Yeah.
What does Play Dead do exactly?
Play Dead is bullshit PvP skill that rogues use where they just fall dead on the ground and become untargetable.
Mm.
And they
What is
usually just wait until their cooldowns come back and they'll just use them again on you.
uh, what is it? What does that do against a boss?
Um, if you're the only against a boss, it does absolutely nothing because you have to
Okay,
level it
so
up to level 42 for it to work against a mob. But if you're fighting a mob 1v1, the mob just resets when you cast
oh crap. So I
it.
have a recommendation. So you know how you have sneaky, basically you can't be targeted to use sneaky, right? What if what if you make Play Dead to where you like you don't become targeted so you can cast sneaky?
Well, you could kind of, yeah, that would actually be where you cannot be targeted when you cast Play Dead.
Yes. And
That's
then
all. The skill
like
already
you're
does
the
that.
no, no,
The
no, I mean like the like you're not targeted. Like your target, like the target of the mob changes to someone else.
Yeah,
Like all together.
that already happens. Like you just lose target of the player if they pass Play Dead.
Oh, so
Like,
it works the same thing as the boss, correct?
yeah, so say if you time it with Geli AoE, you just won't take the Geli AoE damage. But the skill is just useless. Because
Oh, then I don't know.
nobody uses it except for PvP. So I'm thinking like instead it would give rogues reworking it to be like, hey, you survive with 1 HP if you would normally die when you have it active. And it's kind of like an effect that you can just have up on yourself. And it would
Yeah,
actually make it so rogues aren't just getting one shot and get building up curse during certain raids. And lifesteal would do magic damage. This would actually make it as a viable DPS skill to come in and be a nice utility. And then fast reflex would provide evasions and defense as opposed to just defense, because DPS rogues don't want to run fast reflex because they're never being targeted by a boss. So adding defense does absolutely nothing.
yeah.
And I think inherently by giving them rogues more utility skills, they would drop their damage a little bit, like a damage skill or two, to pick up some utility, and that would naturally solve the insane
I
amount
got
of
a
damage that they do.
I got an idea for
Hmm.
possible skills we can add in. So maybe adding, you know how like there's poison weapon
Yeah,
increases poison damage. Maybe
magic weapon.
other, yeah, like magic weapon, fucking
That
cold
would be
weapon.
overpowered though. That would be overpowered.
But it would be like a slight increase, not a like a major boost. That
Like,
way, people can focus on like, oh, I want to be a cold damage rogue, so they
mm,
max their points. Like, so they're forcing them to like basically use their points up.
yeah, that's actually I do kind of like that idea. Although I think like at something like Dino, it would be like, hey, I'm a rogue with poison or with magic weapons, and where I'm like, you get 270 magic damage. You get 270 magic
Amen, amen. Don't
damage.
hate the game.
it's I think that's a really cool idea, but that's kind of like, but to just make poison weapons better, I was like, hey, we'll just have it apply to everyone in the group because it already has such a long cast, but we just nerf its damage a little bit. But that is definitely a cool idea. I do like that idea. It would definitely need some different, like some tweaking of the numbers, though.
Yeah, or like maybe lower the DPS on like rogues or all characters like period to be able to cast that as a group skill.
Yeah, just nerf them all across the board, but be like, hey, you can apply this to everyone in your group. That would actually be
Yes,
cool. Where
and that way it
yeah.
could. Do you want it to be where it's stacking or not stacking?
Oh, not stacking, not stackable. That
Like
actually,
ice and fire tune. Yeah.
actually, I think being able to stack them would be pretty neat. Because I'm thinking about it, and it's like if you were just stacking, like that's all that the rogue would really do. Like that would take so many points to just stack that. Like two skills dedicated to just buffing. I think that could be pretty balanced. Oh, and I just got logged out of my warrior. Okay.
I saw that.
Okay, so for the next class, I wanted to look at rangers. Halt! This is where you come in.
Yes, me. I did just notice something, Jay,
Yeah,
which I didn't realize about Longshot. Longshot actually pins people,
it
so
does.
I wonder if that could be more utilized because I feel like it says can, meaning it doesn't, like 100%. I'd like
Mhm.
it if it, like guaranteed to be pinned to the spot when you cast Longshot. Obviously not a boss because the boss doesn't really move,
It's if
but
they're
like this
up to
feels like a mod.
level. Yeah, as
If
long
they're up
as
to
they're
level, yeah.
that's how it
Is it
works.
guaranteed?
I believe so, as
It look.
long as they don't resist it. I mean, like Dino, Bloodthorn, Galabron, that's
Oh yeah,
the
you're
most
right.
irrelevant thing ever. But
Yeah. No, you're right. I read that wrong. No, I'd like it. Okay, so a few things. I'd like the skills to be tweaked. A few number buffs, because they're a little bit less, a little bit lacking in the numbers department. Uh, I'd like the cooldown on long shot to be reduced slightly. I know why it has a long cooldown,
mhm.
and I know, obviously, it's because it does a lot of damage, but it's too long. Like it's like you literally can cast, I think, sharp shot twice or three times before long shot. You can
It's
recast
supposed
it
to
again,
be
and I
the
feel like
class's hard hitting skill because base level the classes are like very mirrored of each other where they have skills fulfilling the same purpose. Like quick strike, sharp shot, and
yeah,
pummel are basically carbon copies of each other, whereas
yeah.
long shot, sneak attack, and like heavy blow are all carbon copies of each other. And then explosive
Much
Yeah,
arrow, riposte, and sweeping blow, while they all are fairly different in what they do, they're when you look at them, they're again almost carbon copies of each other, just like rend and barb shot and rupture. So
except Rend and Rupture actually are good, and Barb Shot is trash,
yeah.
annoyingly. It's like all these skills you're mentioning are good, and then you get to the Ranger skill and it's lacking. And I feel like if the Ranger skill, the skills like mirrored, the damage of some of the other classes skills, then I feel the Ranger overall would be so much more better and so much more like, viable
Hmm.
rather than just, being an old like, the Ranger mains are practically begging for more damage and more sort of again more utility because we have very few. We've got sharpen and steady, and that's really about it. I mean, yeah, sure, light heal, but
how much
you know,
damage do
sharp.
you do for your sharp shot? 50.
Hmm.
I mean, yes, we have a bunch of utility skills that do absolutely nothing, like just like defensive spikes, garbage, barb shot, garbage.
Yep.
What's that one? The explosive arrow, garbage.
Hmm.
We have so many garbage skills that do absolutely fuck all, and I really would see some of those like to see some of those actually useful.
Yeah.
That's my biggest thing about Ranger.
Give rangers an alternative when they get DG other than running camo so they don't die on their way to Kelly. Because
Yeah,
I've seen a lot of rangers just literally are like, okay, I'm a max camo because I got nothing better to do, so I might as well save the restos and idols in my mount.
Yeah.
Gally, what do you think of Rangers?
First, I want to know what the max damage you can do as it being max skill. Like, how much damage does it do for sharp shot?
Oh, mine is maxed. Well, hang on. Let me take off my sharp shot gear because okay,
Sharpshot is just in line with like quick strike and like pummel and firebolt and a couple of other things. They're
okay, if
just
I
the
take off my
spammable.
gear, yeah, it is okay. So base without no gear on. Take all my gear off. Okay. So the base, actually, mine's not max. It's 3 points less. It should be max, but it does 1500 damage right now at 42 out of 45, and I assume that would be about 1600 when it gets to 45. Um,
It should be
mine's only
50.
not max because I have skill rings, of course, that
Mm-hmm.
put it up to 50. So,
But
actually,
it's
yeah,
a
if I put
fast
on the
cast.
skill ring,
It also scales off dex. It is like
hmm,
I think it's a 10-second cooldown, is it? I can
wait,
actually look.
Because pummel right now for me, it's a little
Google.
bit over five k. But I have a lot of bands.
yeah.
I'm pulling it up
Okay,
actually.
so sharp shot's max, so it's 50 out of 45 now, and it does just over 2000 at 50 out of
Yeah,
45 with no gear on. So I feel
get a
like that's
blue
really low
king
compared
ring.
to other classes. Then if I put on all my gear, then
Warrior.
it's about
Pummel.
Well,
you know.
well, you got to consider your autos. Autos is what makes the ranger, right? Because that's why they can AFK at boss fights.
But we don't. I don't
10
AFK.
seconds
Just put
damage,
that out there.
300. Oh,
Sure,
well,
sure.
it
I'll
does.
pretend I believe you.
So looking at it, Ranger. Oh wait, I have numbers in, don't I?
Mhm. I'm full strength, so
Yeah,
my
I
numbers
do.
won't be exactly accurate because I don't have any points in dex. So yeah,
So
I will.
at
I will go off my numbers.
1000 dex,
Yeah,
Ranger
you'll be right actually.
139, 123. So warriors actually do slightly less damage with pummel than rangers do with their sharp shot. And then rangers go up to come on, let's see. Oh, 139. Yeah, 123 at level 1. And then it goes up to 4675 at level 50. This
Yeah.
is with 1000 strength and 1000 ability. And then warriors
Yeah.
are at 3612. So sharpshot does more damage than a pummel.
Exactly.
Didn't know that.
You're complaining.
They have the same cooldown too and the same energy. Ranger, and they do have the same initial damage. Their initial damage is the same. I think it's base damage that varies. Nope, base. Actually, yeah, base damage is higher on the Ranger, where base damage is 5, and the Warriors have a base damage of 3.
Yeah. I'd like to see sharp shot become a strength skill, not a dex skill,
I would like.
Hmm.
I
because
think that'd be a good change too.
a lot of the gear is like mixed up. Because yes, like because all the long shot stuff has strength, and what's it called, a lot of the ranger gear is messed up because it has the wrong stats on it. Like
Hmm.
the long shot got strength instead of dex, and yeah, it's just all fucked up.
Yeah. So, Gally, what do you think
But
about changes?
I would like to have Rangers lose health, and maybe increase other things because I hear I remember Adore whenever he was playing, he was like, "Yeah, man, I have more defense, more health than a tank." And
Dor
that's
was
just from
also
his gear.
Dor was also a Dex Ranger.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Dex gives health. And he was like heavy Dex. So he had like,
Dex doesn't give health.
it does.
Dexterity
It
gives
increases.
defense.
What was it? No, well, Dex increase heals from. No, so it doesn't
Yeah.
give health. It increases the heal.
Yeah, Dex.
Most Rangers gear increases Dex and health.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's
Oh
what
yeah,
Dex
yeah,
said.
that is true. Yeah, Dex and health.
Yeah.
Where
I would like to see maybe new gear that's been issued that's not copying the same thing for Rangers.
yeah, I don't know why like they think that Rangers are a class that needs health because even when you look in the suggested stats, like when you're on your skills page, it's like it recommends like dexterity and health as your primary skills, and it's like that's just backwards. Most Rangers are going full strength and no health. And it's like rogues, if anything, should have more dexterity and health.
Because of their fucking their gear gives them the the help they need. Honestly, that's where they can go Dex or all strength.
Mhm.
So just have different bots,
Yeah.
different gear. That's probably the recommendation.
Mhm. Yeah. My changes, I am keeping in mind that I like suggesting. I am keeping in mind without gear changes coming. So it's like I'm keeping my ideas to strictly skills only. But you guys are
Mm-hmm.
welcome to do any gear changes if you guys wanted. I'm thinking about increasing the damage value of by 10% of explosive arrow, um,
Mm.
defensive spikes, barb shot, and light heal. And then I'm thinking about making quick shot stack with hastes, so you could have both a haste and quick shot active. Reduce the skill damage of sharpened
It's
weapons
rapid.
by 10%. Make um long shot unable to miss, and then scale sharp shot off of strength as opposed to dexterity.
Hmm
I think
I
that those
think explosive and barb would need more than 10% to be even considered useful. I
yes,
think
but
they're
I mean
Yeah.
like
at
20 or
least
30.
I think with explosive arrow keeping it as something for like clearing ads, like a small buff is enough, but definitely like and barb shot, I think 10% could be enough to make it more viable.
Maybe we'd have to see we'd have to see damage numbers,
And
but
then light heal would also be like, hey, you can maybe be an off healer now if you with a slight buff to it.
I mean, I
May
do
have
light heal.
maybe have like the cast time further, like be able to cast it faster because it's only one heal that you're gonna be doing. Maybe they can somewhat revamp Rangers to the point where it's like support class heal and
Mhm.
cast like defensive spikes, like basically support the tank
Yeah.
versus DPS.
Hmm. And defensive spikes could do quite a bit more damage.
Yes. Maybe increase those skills for the support class for the damage, and that way they can just focus on healing.
Yeah, that could be cool. I also had an idea for maybe giving rangers like a new skill called like Call Beast, where you can summon like a
Mm.
little beast up. Its damage and
Mm.
defense would scale off of your dexterity, and its health would scale off of your vitality. So,
Mm.
getting a slightly beefier beast to fight alongside you would require or you to be like, hey, I need to put more points into my health, and if I wanted to do more damage and have more defense, then I would have to spec into dexterity.
I mean, you could even go as far as like having a set of Dex gear and Vit gear that you swap into for that particular cast of that skill. Like I could swap in for a BT Ami and a Dino Ami because BT Ami's got Vit.
Mhm.
I could swap that, and that would give me more that would get the beast more vet.
Yeah,
I'd like to see that skill though. That would be really
that
good.
would be neat. Of course, it wouldn't be able to hold aggro for you when you're dead. It would die and disappear when you die, too.
Yeah,
But it could definitely tank for you. It would be pretty neat. And it'd be like extra damage. And I think it would be the extra damage that Dex Rangers are just straight up lacking. And that would actually help Dex Rangers be more viable, straight up. As well as having like a cool skill. And I'm still dying to bulk on my tank somehow as we're doing this. Next up, Gally, we can talk about your favorite class, the mages.
I thought you were gonna say warrior because I'm on him right now.
We'll get to warriors soon enough.
Oh, good.
What do you
What to talk about?
Do you suddenly like warriors more than mages?
Well, my warrior is currently more geared than my mage, so that's a little upsetting. And I got an apostate for my warrior, so that's even more upsetting. So it makes me think about my life choices. Let me log my mage, and then we'll go from there. Go to cancel. Let's see.
Speaking of warriors,
I would like to. Well, what's up?
Ever since I sold my huntsman ring on my tank, I've been hurting tanking stuff. Shit hurts now. Anyway, you could continue.
Mages. I would like to have Ice Blast not miss
Oh,
because of how long it takes to cast, and we can get interrupted. It's rough. Let me tell you. Like, look, I'm gonna cast it right now, and I'll let you know when to cast. He just cast. Yeah, like it's considering that ice mages have ice blast and ice shards, frostbite, but yeah, and considering I swap like almost 20 items, so I have 3 items for ice shards, 3 items for ice blast, 2 for freeze, 3 for firebolt, 1 for attune, and then 1 for uh, 1 each for lures, like ice and magic.
Mhm.
Yeah, and then the rest are poured into E shield.
Now, how
Yeah,
good is E Shield generally for mages?
let me see.
Like,
So
how often do endgame mages run E Shield?
I 100% run E shield because I'm not trying to die. It gives me 3.8 damage protection,
Mhm.
which is so far really good. It eats a lot of my energy though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because if you're casting it non-stop and then just the issue I'm having right now is let's see, I have almost 30. They're almost 30k on energy, and when I'm fighting like a full boss, like say 215, it comes to a point where I have to stop luring and get my sigils to start acting up because I'm running out of energy. I've ran out of energy on a boss.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's rough. Yeah, it is really rough. I would like to have more. I would say, yeah. So I want Ice Blast to not be able to be missed because let me tell you, I've had my Ice Shards and Ice Blast both miss at the same time, and it hurt because I had to wait.
Mm-hmm.
Ice Shards is pretty good on hitting, considering that I have a 30% reduction on Ice Shards, and I have a 40%. Oh yeah, and I also have a 40% on Ice Blast. So if I didn't have that 40%, it would have took even longer to cast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Um, Let me see. Yeah, because I'm right now, so 50 maxed out ice shards. Right now with the gear I have, I almost do 10k,
Okay.
and then the gear I have for my ice blast. Let me see. Um, I do a little bit over 11k. I would like to have another additional skill for ice. That way, I don't have to focus my points on getting firebolt. Because that's my third skill when I'm waiting for my ice shards and ice blast.
Mhm.
I don't know what skill it should be named, but something ice, like uh, like like I don't know, like maybe like ice storm. I don't know, because you know how they have that storm touch skill.
Mhm.
Some do it, some there that does like a little bit more than firebolt, but it's maybe have a quick cast on like you know how firebolt like almost instantly you can use it again.
Yeah.
I would like to have a skill that's similar to that where I can just keep casting it.
I think that would definitely throw the balance of mage just out the window, though.
But maybe have like a 10% decrease on DPS.
Because think about, like, if you're just spamming both of those as a mage, it's like mages already do unrivaled damage.
Hey, relax, man. Don't spread it. We're gonna get. I mean, we're already debuffed. Come on, like we need this. Yeah, like like druids are saying, like, oh, we can do more damage than ice mages or mages. Period.
Yeah. I think.
Yeah, but having an additional skill, maybe have like a 10% decrease because of the skill that's like Firebolt, where it's casting like almost like
Mhm.
instantly. I would enjoy that. Maybe increase E shield because a lot of the mages that are starting off,
Mhm.
they're saying that E shield is not enough, and then like if they're trying to be an actual like DPS mage, I always recommend to maxing out E shield um, because of the health difference. Like I think I started at I think it was like 5k health, and then I had like max E shield, and I was like barely getting by. I was scraping.
Mhm.
Maybe increase the defense on mages because let me tell you, man, like we can barely solo 4 stars.
I've seen Ari though. He soloed a 5-star Unox.
Uh, how that's he was all health. That like had to be.
I don't know what he did. I think he also licks, but I watched him solo a 5-star Unox. He basically just said, "Don't interfere," and
Wow.
when it got to about 20%, we just jumped in because we were like, "Okay, he's got this." But he had an energy shield like offhand on. He had the godly cooldown ring for energy shield, and of course, just spamming restos and his skills, and just with energy shield, he soloed 5-star Unox. It may have been Bowie.
I
It's Bowie or
no I. Oof. Uh, Give me a second.
are you doing a 4-star Grand now?
No, I'm logged in. They wanted me to post on Discord on a boss, but I'm like on Galley right now, and
Yeah.
then they're asking me to post it. I'm like,
Ah. So
I
Halt.
mean, you're in the group.
Yeah.
Post it.
Uh, or Halt. What do you think of for the mages?
Um, I guess a lot of the things that I wanted galleys already kind of covered. Um,
Increase us to 2.
I don't know. I mean, I feel
Oh, I have a issue with Deca,
yeah,
or
you
not
adequately
Deca,
covered
but
everything I was gonna say. So, I
I
really don't
want
think
them
much more
to I want them to drop fucking ice mage bans. Fire mages have been freaking blessed for too damn long. They need to be put down a peg and blessed the ice mages. All right.
We had a whole BT that was just fire mage stuff, like during
Mhm.
the event.
Yeah, yeah. Like, you know how many bans have dropped that were for fire mages? It's just too much.
Yeah.
Oh,
So my thoughts and for balancing mages. I was thinking about just buffing frostbite, shards, and blast across the board by 15%, as fire mages are just out damage ice in every way. And it kind of
Yeah.
feels good. But I kind of wanted to make mages more of like this spell slinging fantasy fulfiller, where like you're just slinging
Mm,
spells left and right, and it's like, hey, this is really cool. But then I wanted to nerf it by reducing the utility and then the lure value of mages by just 10% on every lure across the board.
mm. If
And
we do that, would you give us the fireball equivalency to ice magic or ice
no,
cast?
no,
Well, then no deal. No
because
deal.
mages need to be nerfed in their utility.
Hey, man, relax. All right, we're friends. Stop, stop. Just stop talking.
But you will, I think you will like some other changes I have ideas for. Um being increasing your energy boost regen by 20%.
I don't use energy boost, and it's a garbage skill to me.
But I think it could be better if oh, so 5-star king is up. It could be better if what do you call it? If it was just did something. Because I mean it stacks with energy elixirs, and I think by you know, giving it like a small buff or a 20% is pretty significant. That it could just be like, hey, you know those problems you have with energy shield? Like, guess what? That's gonna make up for it. Um, I wanted to take energy harvest from the druids and just basically make it a mage skill and just change out sacrifice entirely for that instead, where you get to take boss's energy or a target's energy, so they don't get to cast their skills, and you just cast more. So that would give you more energy regen, because energy regen is quite
Mm.
frankly the big problem with mages. Um, just remove energy well. That ability is garbage and shit.
Yeah, I don't use it. I don't use energy boost. I don't use energy well. Actually, let me look at the skills right now, and I'll tell you right now what I don't use, and maybe most likely the other mages don't use.
Yeah, and then
Uh,
yeah.
let's see. Let me look at the skills. Firebolt. I guess Cloak of Fire for leveling alt. Mm,
Cloak of Fire, I wanted to change it so the alt leveling becomes a little bit less viable and it becomes more of like a DPS skill where it's kind of like a cast it on someone and then you do your thing. So you would gain damage by this ability, but you just rework it so it does like double its current damage, meaning it does more damage than Incinerate. And but it applies only when you get hit. So it'd be like a thorns effect that you can throw on someone. And I think that that could be really cool. So it's
mm,
not going off just every tick, it's going off when you get hit. So it could be more or less. Then you could be doing more damage or less damage than Incinerate, depending on who you put it on and like the target. Because like right now, Incinerate is just a better Cloak of Fire, and it's just not. But it's not AOE. But who cares? Because raids, how viable a raid build is the entire class meta.
so what I would do is I will take out sacrifice, energy well, because those are skills never to be touched.
Mhm.
Um,
If
possibly
sacrifice,
energy boost, maybe.
if sacrifice was replaced where you could steal target energy from your target, would you maybe put a few points in it, like as a point total?
No,
No. Okay.
fuck, hell no. All right, as an ice mage at level 228, I currently have 3 points to spare from swapping 18 items. I have ice shards, ice blast. I have freeze. I have firebolt. I have magic lure and ice lure. I have ice attune. I have e shield, all maxed out, which allows me to have 3 points spare. My my point dump would be on frostbite, honestly, but I have 3 points currently, and that's not going to change. I would I don't know. Maybe I'll use energy shield or not energy boost.
Yeah, if
Honestly,
you had a really
that
good.
way I can give it to like random people that like, oh, it's like I'm running energy, like bam, assisted.
Me,
My rogue is
me,
always running out of energy. Every class does so.
same. I only
Yeah,
have
I
like
mean,
I don't have
I
anything
use
in 3 skills and I'm dead.
I use what do you call it? Res pots. I'm pretty bougie. I just use those and I'm good to go.
Yeah, but it's expensive spamming through them.
Mm.
This is why I have a lot.
So you spend a lot of money on them. Okay.
Yeah, I have like 10K on galley. I have like 5K each on like all my alts.
Mhm.
Jesus.
Yeah, I way back when I made sure I was stocked up. Like I haven't bought res pots or idols in years. Yeah, I was good to go.
I
Nah,
ran out of idols for the first time in like 2 years last week.
I still have the old ancient idols.
oh,
I'm saving those suckers until someone wants to buy them because they gave you like 100% like respawn with full life
Mhm.
versus 50%.
Oh, jeez, that's kind of broken though.
Yeah, saving those. I don't even know if those actually work. Do they still work?
Probably.
Yeah, probably. I have them. I have like a good amount saved. Honestly.
So I think we're ready to move on to the next class. We're taking a while on this one. I love it.
Oh, yeah.
Druids.
Nerf them. Nerf their damage. Thanks.
Yeah,
That is all.
You have everything.
nerf them. I'm thinking for for my changes because I'll start off this time. My change ideas were that we just nerf the value of all their wards by like
Yes.
20%. We nerf Storm Touch and Lightning Strike by 20%, but we make Storm Touch ranged. Um nerf Shield of Bark and Bless again by 20%. We just removed what was that ability called? The one where you steal energy from opponents. And then
Energy
stinging,
harvest.
yeah, energy harvest. Make bees do magic damage instead of whatever the fuck it currently does.
I'm logging my Druid right now to go over it. Give me a second.
Because bees, it's I think it says magic damage, but it's like it just does divine damage for some reason. Um, but then I would propose adding in a skill called Nature Attune, where you get to just like Magic Attune or and Fire Attune
Yeah.
or Ice Attune.
Oh yeah. Yep.
So it's like that would help DPS druids be more of DPS, but it would um but it would cost them the extra skill points. But it would also give them a skill to actually use because most of their DPS skills are just kind of like shit anyway. So like strangling vines or root or whatever the fuck they use. So and
So for let's see, for Druids, the skills. I don't know if grasping roots is still used.
Grasping roots. I think
Yeah.
we Dewey uses it, but that's because he's the only one at the raid who uses it, and nobody overcasts him.
Hmm. Honestly, all their skills are pretty useful. So I'm just like kind of irritated. Like, why do they get all these skills, and we
Yeah.
get like the boo boo ones that we never use? Energy
And
harvest. Let's see what read. Let's read what that says. Transfer 51 energy from a target to yourself. I see. Can it be used on your partner, like friends?
that was a skill I was proposing that we make a mage skill.
Ooh, yes. And then rescue. Teleport targeted group member below this number to your location. Ooh.
It's a useless skill, but they use it for like sometimes at BT to get people out of the acid, or um like at Dino
It,
sometimes too.
is it a group cast or is it
Single target.
you
It's
so
single.
like you click it and then you click someone on your group and then they teleport to you?
Yep.
Is it a certain amount of range or
Yeah, there is a range on it.
okay, because I was about to say like I'm gonna be at Lay and Caro and then someone says Morty's up and I just teleport myself. Would have been broken.
Well, you have to be able to select the person. So, because if you're in
Oh,
a group,
gotcha. I
yeah,
see what you mean.
you would have to select them to even cast it on them.
See, all those skills are good. The hell?
People have been saying, like, I've asked the druids, and they said Sanctuary was useless, but I'm like, Sanctuary, I think, is like really good, especially against Necro. Like, it just invalidates Necro entirely because it can't heal. That would just make Spread the Plague on Hrung do nothing. That makes Gelly AoE just do
These
nothing.
summoning
You
like
could make
protects all your party in range of 80 meters from 20
Yeah, it's an
to
AoE
30.
shield that it's like an AoE like shield that you just put on your group, and it will stack with
Hmm.
energy shield.
I think druids are broken.
And those druids be like, it's kind of useless. It's like, imagine if you just cast on your group and like your DPS are like, thank God. A
Yeah, they're pretty
preemptive
broken.
Nature's Breath, which annoys me because like it low key like bothers me a little bit when like druids like Dewey just aren't they run he runs like a low levels Nature's Breath, and so just die anyway at like Unox or something like that. And skills like Sanctuary are super good at Unox, but he's like not using them. I'm like, ah.
Yeah.
What do you think about druids?
One skill I'd like to see somehow, I don't know how they could rework it, but Spring of Life, the one where it summons you back with your mount, like, they can revive you.
Oh yeah,
I know,
and
is that
doesn't
one's
build
based off,
curse.
yeah, it doesn't build curse, yeah. No, I don't know, because I've not played extensive Druid yet. I'm just starting out. I'm about a level 113 Druid so far. What does that scale require? Is it like level based? Like
Yes, it
what's
needs
the
to be
thing on it?
target level or higher. Because I remember
Target level.
that there
Okay.
was there was that one raid. I think it was Blowed or something hit level 231 at Dino like the day before, and all of a sudden like Dewey or not Dewey, Nick or no, not like fucking Crazy. Yeah, it was Crazy. Crazy could no longer Spring of Life Blowed at Dino
Oh no.
during the raid.
Oh shit.
Because he only had it to level 230. And
So I'd like to see them
That's
get
rough.
rid of the level thing and make it. I don't know. Maybe like I don't know how long the castle cooldown is, but maybe get rid of the level thing, but have it have like a longer cooldown. Um, so then it's more like it's not based on level; it's based on time in a way. Like so they can cast as much as they want, and it doesn't matter the level. But
I think a slightly better way would be let you use it more,
Yeah.
but a higher energy cost. But then again, like I'm also like a huge advocate for Celtic just completely redesigning the idol system because idols are just broken. Curse is not enough of a nerf to idols to make them balanced in any way. The ability for someone to
For me,
just
it is. For me,
instantly
it kills me.
resurrect. Yeah, it's like the ability to instantly resurrect somewhere on like a 10-second cooldown is really stupid. And but that also is like it's the answer to the already broken skill check or stat check boss design that this game has.
Yeah, but like, hang on, what? You want to get rid of idols?
No, not get rid of them, but like just the general boss design and then um like resurrection and the class system just they all need to be reworked to be better. Like classes need more survivability on their own, and then
Like
idols need to
when
be
you said
nerfed.
before, with the curse not being enough, the curse kills me. Like, because it'll take me down to like 2k energy, and I'll get up and I'll just get instant wiped.
Yeah,
Especially at BT.
it's a
With
shit
BT's bind
system.
skill, like,
But
yeah, like
despite
you get up and you spend 20 seconds waiting, and then you get up and you just instant killed, and then you're like, well,
but
it's here for another
that
20
still
seconds.
is not enough for druids to want to run Spring of Life on any DPS characters.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's
True.
true.
And it's something that we still do to a point where people aren't leaving combat to end curse. People are just like, I'll just tank it through curse anyway, because I can just instantly get up in 10 seconds and keep going until I die again, inevitably. It's a really flawed system, I think.
Yeah.
Which is something that we could probably do like another video on where we just talk about improving Celtic Heroes boss design. Because this conversation is quickly moving away from class balance.
Yeah.
Did each of you give your ideas on Druid or anything else?
Uh,
Yeah.
if we've already talked about it having magic lure and nature lure, or not nature lure,
Not magic
what was
lore.
it?
Nature
Magic attune and
attune.
nature attune. Nature attune for
Mm.
healing and magic attune for damage.
Well,
Lower the
Do
damage,
they have
that
like
way it will
a
be a slight increase.
magic is a damage type. It is not a skill. Nature is the skill that druids use. It's their class skill that they use that boosts their abilities to give level scaling to everything, all their skills. So magic having a nature attune would buff both healing and damage because it
So just because it says in the name, we can still change the write up. So just be nature's attune. It literally says in the wording, like when you type in, look in the skill, just have it say like increases heals by this much.
but with the game code, my only problem with that is the game code doesn't actually differentiate between healing and magic or damage. It's all classified as skill damage. It just one is like negative damage to people and the other is positive damage to um player or to enemies. Like if you've ever seen that, like I think it's all any rings that like add healing to druids, it's like increases skill damage of nature touch by XXX. So it's like I don't think in the game code it can differentiate between the two, and that's why I went for just opting as a one skill. Again, we're talking about the broken game code of this that's going on. Okay, then we get to Galley's real favorite class, warriors. So I'll let you kick us off.
So, Warriors. I'm on it currently. Let me see. Increase pummel the damage because that's like basically the only skill that warriors value.
Mhm.
And change the status, or not the status, but change the information in regards to giant swing. Giant swing is it should have been a skill that every warrior always has because of all the gear and all the like the DG in itself, the CG offhand. It all says increase giant swing. No
Yeah.
one uses it.
Yeah, all
It is a waste.
DPS warriors should use it ideally, but they
Yeah,
don't.
it says it adds the damage and then it delays your equipped weapon. It just like it's just too much.
Mhm.
The only skills warriors use is pummel, double attack, shatter, rupture, and frenzy.
I think what you're reading, the added damage based on weapon delay, that is a way for scaling attack speed to the weapon damage, and it's a good thing with martial classes because you were a mage main. So if the skill does more damage, the slower your attack speed is. So like a
Oof.
hammer would do more damage than an axe or sword. Because rogues have the same thing with their rend and sneak attack and other skills like that. And then rangers also have it with like sharp or with long shot, I think.
Hmm.
Hmm.
I think it's a good thing. It's not I wouldn't want to touch that part of the skill. Because that would be the one part of the skill that actually makes it somewhat viable.
Hmm.
I want to use giant swing.
Um, my ideas for the class would be I would want to target nerfing the tanks, and because Celtic Heroes just has this healing and tanking meta that's going on, and then like DPS are just kind of like we're gonna stuff DPS like eggs in a box, and that's probably like a really bad analogy, but whatever. It's like we're just gonna cram as much DPS in the area as we can. Hopefully, we kill it on time because the rage system is also a flawed boss design system that we can talk about in another video. um,
Can we increase the auto damage that warriors do?
yeah. So I would
Because
love
they're
to see.
basically a laughing stock.
Yeah, warrior get like 70%, 75% of their damage from their abilities. So I would like to see sneak or giant swing get the sneak attack treatment where it's unable to miss.
Mm,
um
yes.
just reduce tank skills across the board with protective stance, defensive formation, and um
Shield wall.
shield wall. Those just need to be nerfed because with bear and like with bear, the shield from the CG shield and the like even like reindeer and pig, it's so much. They just get so much damage reduction, and the warriors don't even run enduring guard because shield wall just makes that skill irrelevant. So I think nerfing shield wall would maybe make running enduring guard a little bit better because it's shield wall just blocks flat damage. It's like so you don't need enduring guard.
So for tank side, protective stance and defensive formation, along
Nerfed.
with shield wall and shield bash with taunt.
Shield bash I think should be can stay as is. Because it's a good utility skill, and warriors don't actually have much utility. It plays its own like little niche role in the game. Taunts are fine, I think, because they're kind of irrelevant. They're just again a utility based skill, and I don't mind warriors dumping all their points into it because um I would like to see though their AoE ability, like their whirlwind strike, that should probably
Sweeping
get
blow.
buffed. Yeah, sweeping blow. Yeah, not whirlwind strike. Sweeping blow. That should get buffed. And I'm thinking like, what if we just like doubled the damage? It's already such a long cast time, and it takes up so
And
much energy. Let's just
yeah,
double its damage. It's
yeah, because it definitely is on a forgotten uh,
and it has such a long
list.
cooldown.
Yeah, because right now it's at 1 out of 45 that says it deals 4,100 damage,
Yeah,
but no one uses it because it's too long to cast.
I would love to see Frenzied Stance get a buff because, especially since I'm not proposing any gear changes, Warrior EDL doesn't give flat damage like Rogues and Rangers do. So let's just make Frenzied Stance do more damage because it would make DPS
Yeah,
Warriors better.
because exalted dragon lord breastplates and like the whole gear doesn't do damage increase. It just is
Yeah.
mainly for tanks.
Yep. And then I was thinking, what if warriors got a new skill called like summon mount or call mount, where you can actually just call your mount back to you,
Mm,
and it's on like say like a 2 minute cooldown. It'd be a long cooldown skill, and you could just call a mount up, and I think that would help warriors with like the like I'm on a steed, I'm a mounted knight kind of fantasy, and I think that that could be cool.
mm. I think
Wonder if
that'd
that would
be
recast
interesting.
that.
Yeah, it should be like a skill for this
Instead of having to
when
pay
it's
like 100 gold to get your mount back, or wait, like an hour, each class gets a skill that takes like, I don't know, maybe
5 minutes.
5 or 10 minutes to actually recast, but you get your mount back.
Hmm. Yeah, but it'd be better than mount whistles.
Yeah, instead of
Yeah.
buying them from flat stores.
Yeah.
Let's see. Maybe have Shatter be unavoidable.
Shatter? Hmm.
Yeah, because
Shatter?
it only lasts for 10 seconds and it only decreases by 762. And I have
So Shatter's like well, the second best DPS warrior skill already. And like I think warriors, DPS warriors, like being able to cycle their shatter, because that is ideally what should be happening at raids, is like already fine to a point where like shatter is already should always be up. Kind of like
but
rogues have to coordinate their offhands and rents.
would say they increase Shatter because due to the armor issue not giving increased not giving damage period.
Hmm.
That's what I'm saying. Just do that versus like changing stats up.
Hmm. Yeah, I think shatter
Just
could see
increase
a
Shatter.
couple changes.
Shatter be unavoidable, and then also maybe increase the armor that it reduces to a certain point, just to make up for the damage for autos because no one's casting any lures currently. Or
Hold up.
actually,
If we are increasing warrior damage, do we really need to also buff shatter, which is their skill that increases their damage against a target?
what I'm saying is instead of increasing the warrior damage, it's just to increase
Oh,
Shatter itself.
just increase shatter. Okay. That
Yes,
that could
that way it won't be super broken.
hmm. That's definitely an idea. Hmm.
Just not unavoidable, and then increase the armor it reduces.
Yeah.
And I'd be happy with that.
I could be happy with that too. What are your ideas about this? You've been kind of quiet.
Yeah, I mean, again, same with the sort of the druid thing. I've really only known ranger for most of the time I've been playing, so now I've sort of got the warrior and the druid starting. Um, I guess I'd like to see some maybe sweeping. Sweeping edge sounds really good, and it has kind of like a cool kind of animation. I'd like to see it, kind of useful.
Hmm.
It's a shame such a cool looking skill kind of does nothing.
Hmm.
Because I don't know. I've heard it doesn't really do much, and it's not that good. So, um, but yeah, I also like to see them nerf the tank a bit because the tank is honestly ridiculous
Yeah.
with all the kind of stuff it can do. So yeah, I guess that's kind of my thoughts on the warrior.
Okay. Now, as for what do you call it? The all class skills. What are you guys thinking?
What's so like meditation and stuff and
Yeah,
bandage
meditation,
wounds.
recuperate, bandage wounds, double
So
attack, double shot.
meditation could be good if it was given like a 10,000 buff. Because it's just pure garbage right now. Um,
Mm-hmm.
like it's okay for lower levels, like because you don't really have anything to put points in, and it's fine just being at a 1 point skill. You can recover a little bit of energy because you only have like 60 energy if you're like
Mm-hmm.
a warrior or a ranger at a low level. Like right now, my warrior is 110 with 164 energy. Not that I use that skill, but I could if I wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, I don't know. I mean, again, bandage wounds is kind of bad as well. Like it doesn't do anywhere near the amount of healing it needs to, and there's no gear for it. What I find interesting is a lot of the skills don't have gear for them.
Yeah.
Like they built these skills, and yet they gave like one skill ring to bandage wounds, one skill ring to this, one skill ring to that, and nothing else. It's like, okay, we know this is a shit skill. We're gonna give nothing to it. I
Mm-hmm.
don't get, like, okay, you know it's a shit skill, then why bother building it? Why bother inputting it into the game if you know it's shit and you know you're not going to do anything with it?
Mm-hmm.
Um, okay, then what we got? We got recoup. I mean, mm, it could be viable. Needs a bit of a boost. I mean, then again, how often are you standing at? I mean, how often are you going to be standing around at a boss trying to recoup energy and health? I mean, you may. I mean, because you SIGs. I mean, if you have a lot of SIGs, you can do that in about 2 seconds and go straight back in again.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like recoup doesn't really have a purpose anymore. I probably should just get. Honestly, they should just delete it. Honestly,
Mm-hmm.
all the
Well,
other skills just don't use the recoup.
maybe that skill should go away when you reach level 100.
Or you purchase money from the plot shop and get get sigils.
Yeah. Although I could see it completely revamped. Like this is honestly basically a new skill where it works in tandem with your SIG, so it buffs your SIGs.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of like so say you have like say you have like 1,000 SIGs and 1,000 SIGs, it like basically you cast a skill and it gives you an extra 200 SIGs in HP and energy at max or something. I think that'd be kind of
So
cool.
I was thinking a slightly different direction than you guys. So with energy, I have nothing to think about with bandage wounds, as I think that skill is garbage and will never really be useful. Um, because recuperate could just be better. So, but with recuperate and meditate, think about buffing them by maybe like 20 to 30% of their values over time, and they're usable in combat.
Ooh, that would be nice.
That would be nice.
So that would give every class an ability to regenerate energy and health to an extent in combat.
Make it
But then,
so I don't know this. No, actually, no, this might make it broken, but make it so when you're casting that skill, you can't get interrupted.
No, because I
It's
think
too broken.
finding a safe time to cast your skills is also important. Uh, I would like skewer to be usable by bows, and then double shot and double attack are can actually apply weapon procs.
Mm,
Because the calculation for double attack and double shot is that they literally just it's two auto attacks with weapon delay calculated. So why not just let them they already proc your damage from like damage rings or jewelry, but like why not just also let them proc weapons possibly?
mm.
So it's like, hey, like you still have like that chance, like your drag EDL dagger could maybe go off when you're casting it.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah. Okay.
Any other?
You guys have anything else to maybe add to this?
Um,
Have an increased drop for ice shard bands, please. Fire mages are too blessed right now.
I mean, yeah.
I
Increase.
think there's been a total of 5 bans since BT has been up.
Mhm.
Maybe 4, maybe. Oh, not 4, 6. I'm gonna say 6 because I think Ali has 2 or 1. Bowie has what? 4, 3 ants and then 1, and then White's has like 3,
Mhm.
3, 4, 7. Less than 10 has dropped. Come on, we need this.
off the rate of oblivions, because we're getting like 1 oblivion every like 50 necros. That's actually a good one.
As
Because
for
apart from the one that dropped 2 days ago, we haven't had above a royal oblivion in like 3 months, 4 months,
we can
5 months.
complain about server RNG another time.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But as for classes, I think Druid is by far the most broken.
Yes,
Warriors, I would probably put.
they need help on their autos.
Mages would be second, I think, for most broken currently because of the lures and skill damage they do. Um, the warrior
We're already
third,
the
rogues fourth, and rangers fifth.
Rangers aren't even on the broken scale. Like they're just nowhere near it.
Yeah, so that would be like
first off, rangers are broken. Their autos are just dumb, and then they have their skills that cast fast. I feel like warriors should be on the bottom.
Nah.
tanks do be
Warrior
Yes.
broken
tank
though.
though. The tanks are broken as fuck.
I'm not talking about tanks. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay. Okay, so I think then we can end it right there. Yeah, this was a fun conversation. And we'll see everyone all next time. So peace.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.